The Cowboys are 3-1. Here's the Cowboys versus Commanders game recap. So the Cowboys started off slow in this game, and so did the Commanders on a lot of respects. And in part, it was a very, very tough sledding trying to run the ball inside versus this Commanders defensive front, who has Payne and also has Allen. And these guys are two of the best defensive tackle tandems in the entire National Football League. But the Cowboys were resilient. The Cowboys continued to try to run the ball, 29 carries, around 70 yards, and it paid off in the long haul for the Cowboys. The Cowboys were able to capitalize on a few key 8-man fronts and safety sneaking down in the box to support the run game, and Cooper Rush was more than adequate in completing the football down the field with some key receptions. To shout out to Michael Gallup. He's back off of injury, doing some really good things. Long reception, touchdown pass. Noah Brown showed up with a huge big catch down the center of the field with a skinny post. And also CeeDee Lamb chipped in last, certainly not least, with a very, very consistent first half, and also a very, very great move on the skinny post release up the hash, man, to get the, in my opinion, game-winning touchdown. So Ezekiel Elliott was sound. He was solid. Pollard was sound. Ezekiel Elliott got the bulk of the carries this game. And, you know, in my opinion, for good reason, because if you're committed to running the ball inside like the Cowboys were this particular game, then, hey, you want to give it to the hammer and to the guy that can actually hit people and make them drag and make them hurt as you get later in the game. We could have run some things, and I would have liked us to run some things that we didn't do. I would like to see some more stretch. I would like to see some more toss sweeps to the outside and some more counter traps, because really we had a lot of success with that the first several games, all right? But nevertheless, we did enough to keep them honest and to get the job done. So at the end of the day, the Cowboys took care of business and won this game and did what they needed to do from the offensive perspective. Now, I will say on the defensive front, it was a lot of different people that made plays. Now, listen, and just like most teams will do moving forward, the Commanders did a pretty good job double teaming Micah Parsons. He created pressure. He created some one-on-one matchups and things of that nature. But you can tell that they were really keyed in on trying to stop Michael Parsons. But he's a guy that you might be able to slow down. But in the long-term narrative of this season, he's not a guy that you're not going to be able to stop. You're not going to be able to stop him. He has too much skill, too much speed, too much athleticism, and he's just too good of a player for you to stop him long term when you talk about this season. So if you look at this whole thing, what you see is a borderline, if not already existing, dominant defense. The Cowboys, and I said this before we started this season, the Cowboys are going to win a lot of games this season based on the makeup and nature of this offense, because the defense is dominant. The defense is keeping people to field goals. The defense hadn't given up more than one touchdown all year in a single game. All right. This defense, the first 4 games of this season, have held opponents under 20 points. These are some of the best stats of a Cowboys defense going back more now than 30 some odd years, if you go look it up. So the Cowboys are playing at a really, really awesome clip defensively, and this is what gives me more confidence. It's not the play calling that I'm concerned about when I think about how the defense is playing. That needs to be improved over the course of the season going into the playoffs and big games. But in the regular season, the Cowboys, as long as this defense stays fairly healthy, as long as we got guys rushing the passer and we have the fear of death in these offensive coordinators to catch and get the ball out pretty quick versus this front, because you know you don't have a lot of time because you're going to get sacked. And as long as we continue to improve and be just consistent on the back end, we're going to be in every game. We're going to have a chance to beat most opponents that we come across. And the Cowboys, when Dak Prescott gets healthy, I think are going to be even better. And I know they're going to be even better because Dak is going to bring an element of completing consistently under and intermediate passes, reading the defense, and he's also a fantastic run threat. So with the health and hopeful, prayerfully continued health and rehab of Michael Gallup and the emergence over the last couple games, I want to give him credit. CeeDee Lamb playing better, all right, especially after the drops the last game. If he can continue on that trajectory, we get some production out of the tight end, we're going to be in really, really good shape. And so the Cowboys did what they had to do. It wasn't pretty, but you know what? A win is a win is a win. And the Cowboys did exactly what they needed to do versus the Washington Commanders. They got the W. They got out unscathed without any major injuries. And now we got coming up the Los Angeles Rams. So that'll be a fun game to watch, a good testing stick of kind of where we are as an overall team going against the Super Bowl champs. And but look, hey, I think the Cowboys will take care of business. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to these videos.